welcome everybody to the tree. Put your hands together. Hey. All right.
Buddy.
We're gonna bring it on down a little bit. Hope everybody's doing well. You know, everything is going well. This is Wednesday Hump Day. And with that, this is your place where you get the holistic health for the week. How about that?
Yeah, buddy.
And we're going to dive in. Big B, I'm going to bring it down. We are live on Facebook.
Yeah, buddy.
If you are streaming.
Yep.
Someone did not get the information on Zoom, just tell them to come on over to Facebook and we'll drive them. You can just chime right on in. How about
yes,
that?
Sir.
All right, buddy. Let me come off there. Sharon. We should see everybody. You see everybody?
Yes, sir, man. Get everybody up.
All right. Everybody looking good. What's up, Queen? How you doing? Got the Queen. You got to throw the Queen hand up. What's up, Queen? I want to say to everybody, welcome to the family tree. If this is the first time you're joining us, this is the place where we say this is the holistic health connection for the week. We talk about any and everything that's holistic health for the entire family. So if you want to join the conversation, we say this is the place because we gather around the tree. We call it family tree because this is the place where people gather around the tree. This was the ancient laurel trees that we gathered around to talk about situations, problems, issues with connection, networking, and most importantly, prayer, and whenever we had to get things solved. So we gathered around that tree because guess what? That's your social security. You got to say it slow. Say it slow. Social security. That's right.
Yes, sir, buddy. Yes, sir.
Not a check, it's your family. So with that being the case, we say that your closest in situation that you may be going through, your solution may be right around this street.
I know that's
so
right,
with that being the case, you want to join the conversation, chime in this evening. And if you want to jump in, you want to come in right to the go down to the actual menu bar where you see the reaction. I'm trying to pull everything up at the same time. And you'll see the little heart down there. Click it on and you can get up there and you can get in queue like Big B up there. And with your hand up, we'll try to get to you. If you're someone that says, well, hey, I don't want to get in queue, I don't want to be on camera, that's okay. You can put your information down in the chat box. And at some point in time, I don't know if Prophetess is in here, Big B. Is she in here?
I haven't seen her yet.
I haven't seen her. So Prophetess or Big B will get to your question. Do I
best, y'all?
He don't miss. And if we cannot get to the questions, then we can't get to everything because we're limited on time. But we'll try our very best, okay? If you're someone that may have called by phone, you called them by phone, maybe listening in, you did not get the actual prompt that showed you how to actually put your hand up. Don't worry. Just let us know you're calling by phone, and we'll try to get you in. How about that? All right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Without a doubt, this is a good Wednesday. We say always Wednesday's good Wednesday, right?
Yes, sir.
Every day is a good day, y'all. Be thankful. That's right. So without a doubt, we want to give our host with the most, Big B, Bill, 1L, Morgan, a hand.
All right, Big Bill. Thank you for getting back to us. Yes.
What's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
Hey,
what you doing over there, buddy?
Hey, look, you know, man. What I say, Daddy got the nerve to wake me up. I got the nerve to do what he wants. Wow.
Sounds like a plan to me.
That's right. Sound like a plan. That's right. So, Big B, you know, lots going on. You know, always as we know, the media and everything's happening with the measles, and it's still things that are growing and things that happen. Please mute yourself. Mute yourself. Everybody mute you. Mina, you got to put yourself on mute, okay? Thank you.
Yeah.
Put yourself on mute. Everybody put yourself on mute. Put yourself on mute so we won't have any feedback, all right?
All right.
Big B, you know, a lot's going on, buddy. And, you know, we try to stay up on top of these things. But things seem to be moving a little fast all across the lines, man. You know, it seems like as soon as we have one problem, seem like it's going away, here come another.
Here comes something else, man.
You know, so we're keeping up with the CDC numbers. So what do we have as the latest number so far?
Well, our latest number, unfortunately, right now have not moved a lot since Sunday when we're on the excuse me, on the green hour. But we're looking at for our early indicators for our test positivity, guys. It's at 3.2% across the board. Okay. Now, for our emergency department visits, we're looking at again 0.4%. Still, it's down just a hair. Still makes you try and feel comfortable. Don't go there, yo. Severity indicators for per hospitalization per 100,000 is 1.4%. And our deaths have also, guys, have come down a little bit. So we'll have a little bit of a hand drum roll.
Mm.
Okay, that hand number will give it 0.6%. Shoot, y'all, I do whatever I can.
I got you,
Oh, now I don't
buddy.
know what you're talking about.
I got you,
So
buddy. I
that's where
got
we
you.
are, guys. And if like Dr. Paul was saying, stuff is still going on, man. You know, that stuff, this measles thing. Look, it's crazy, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep,
look,
yep.
just look out for the family right now more than anything else. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and we're over about 900 cases now, and
Right.
a lot's happening. And there is, matter of fact, another LA County measles case amid
Yeah, man.
nationwide surge. Vaccines urged ahead of summer travel. So it's really, people concerned about travel, of course. And it's already enough that we're talking about the issues with travel now with the planes, but now you got this on top of it now, where people are
Yeah, buddy.
concerned about what's happening in the would say communicable things that are happening with people and passengers. So just what do we say on our side? Just stay on top of things, family. We say what? Jaws and paws, keep your hands and face
Yes, sir, buddy.
clear. Make sure that you're keeping yourself up to date with your immune system. Don't get too compromised. Get enough sleep. A lot of sleep. People are saying I'm not getting enough sleep. You got to try to make sure you tone down and prepare for sleep. And that means when the sun's going down, you should be winding it down also.
Yes,
Right?
yes, yes.
And watch these phones. These phones right here. See how mine's sitting way over there somewhere? And I got a what? I got a little chip on the side here. This is all to bring down that radiation. All
Yeah,
right?
buddy. Yeah,
So do the
buddy.
best you can. All right? All right, Big B, I say we always want to talk about good stuff that's happening to start off. How about that? We
Yes,
always
sir,
talk
man. Yes,
about,
sir.
I say,
Testimony
testimonies.
time.
Testimony time, because testimonies go a long way. And if I were to tell you, if there's anything in the practice with that I see every day, that when the people come forward is needing the additional amount of faith to need to move to the
man.
next day. Sometimes, Big B, it takes a lot, buddy.
Ooh, it does, man.
Especially when you put your faith in a system that is rapidly failing, and then they tell you there's nothing else that we can do. And that to some people would be devastating. And to a lot of people, it's devastating because that's where you put your understanding to. So we say it's not, only God is the author and finisher of faith. Testimonies go a long way. You need to hear somebody else's story. Sometimes, when there's something that's in the midnight hour when you just don't seem to get it together, guess what? There's somebody that already went through it. That's why we say a testimony is either somebody going in a storm, somebody in a storm, or somebody coming out of a storm. Either way, there's a story to be told. So with that, we celebrate you today. Anyone that's gone through anything could be this week. Guess what? Since the last time we saw y'all, my blood pressure went down. How about, I don't have any more acid reflux. My knees are a little bit better. I can exercise now. Oh, we've been having some testimonies in the last couple of weeks, y'all.
I know, that's right.
That have been riveting. And I'm sure you've seen them on Facebook. But I want to always say that there's always a story somewhere for someone else. There's nothing greater to be in service of your fellow woman or man. So with that being the case, Big B, floor is officially open. Anybody have a testimony?
Okay,
want to share with the family?
All right, Marcy. Marcy got a testimony. Come on, Marcy, bring it on.
Greetings, my family.
Hey,
so you're speaking about faith and trust. Well, I've been cleansing. I've been doing my cleansing, Dr. Paul's cleansing and his green drink. And I've also, along with the cleansing, I have been asking for a nice vacation, a nice trip. And the group that I've been doing healing circles and drumming circles, they're inviting me to Senegal.
All right.
Okay. That's nice.
That's where we come faith and prayers and releasing and letting go. Now, my question is, with these, I have to take these shots. Is it good that I need to take the polio shot? I know I have to take the yellow fever and the malaria. Are you familiar with the polio shot?
Yeah. What you want to do is always get a good advisor before you leave, because each country is going to be different, And I always say check with a travel advisor. I do have someone that I believe is excellent at that, and they stay up to date because things change rapidly, especially with a lot that's happening in the world with these communicable diseases that are traveling with each and every specific country. So just be mindful. I would get a good travel advisor. Yes, I do. I have an excellent travel advisor. I have one of the best. And matter of fact, you put me on the spot. So let me get that for you before we Before we get out of here, I'm going to drop it in here. I'm going to tell everybody. Let me see if I can pull it real quick while we're talking.
Thank you.
But yes, we do. I would always say get with someone that has a travel advice. Now, some of them, of course, yellow fever and you got malaria. Got it?
Yeah.
Most
Yes.
prevalent. Now, malaria is going to be a pill. You can get it in pill form, of course.
Yes.
And then the usually right now the yellow fever shot it's not been updated or adapted to this new technologies, this mRNA things. It hasn't gone that route. This is still the same shot back in the 70s. So this one would be considered something on the safer level that we look at. Okay, on our side, we always say you can detox. You don't want to get caught up in customs, is what I'm saying. You don't want to get caught up in customs. If you don't have that information and you don't get stamped up, I get all the bad stories. I get all the bad stories of people getting detained. And then when you really have to get it now because you can't get to or out, that they will make you pay double, sometimes triple for the amounts for the actual test. So don't get caught up in customs. Get a good advisor, and if you have, you can actually get an exemption from this also. That's what the travel advisors also do. They have the ability, because they're doctors, so they have the ability to not only as an advisor, but they're up to date on what's happening, but they have the ability to, if you say, I don't want it, then you can actually get an exemption. And they'll explain all of this details to you, and I'll try to find the one that I have here.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, here it is, right here. I got it right here. Mm-hmm. Well, I see. Let's see, Marcy Francis. See what happens. So
if you can't see God, you ain't looking.
Sometimes you just gotta just ask. You just gotta ask.
You have not because you asked not.
You have not because you asked not. All right, now this is a good. He's a good. He's an excellent travel clinic doctor. It's called the Travel Clinic. That's what it's called. Travel Clinic. His name is Dr. Michael Lucca, Lucca, MD.
Lucca.
Yep, CCA. Got it. He's at the Holy Redeemer Hospital, which is at 1650 Huntington Pike, and that's at Suite 355. That's in Meadowbrook, PA. Tell him I sent you, okay? And let me give you the number. Number is Meadowbrook, yep. MEADOWBROOK.
Okay.
And his number is 445 222 8211.
882. Wait, you said 88211?
No, 445 222 8211.
Thank you.
Yep. And
what was his name again, Dr. Paul?
His name is Michael Lucca, Lucca.
And he said where? At Holy Redeemer?
Yes. Holy Redeemer Hospital. It's like one of the suites. It's the Suite 355.
1650 Huntington?
Yep. Huntington Pike. Yep. Huntington Pike.
Dr. Paul, while you're talking to her about seeing that doctor, remember you talked about insurance when you're traveling out of the country?
That is correct.
Can you
Sure. Yeah, there is a global insurance that I have whenever I travel. It's called Global Assist, or Assist America. I'm sorry, Assist America. And they come through, they're connected with, and I don't know if you can go get them individually, but I know I get it through one of my coverages that I have. I have a coverage called NMCA, which is the National Motor Club. Okay. All right. And matter of fact, NMC.com. It's at NMC.com if you go there. And they have a lot of different things. They used to be a very well recognized auto insurance. Like if you got stuck on a road, like AAA, they were like the ones that were like AAA on steroids. I mean, they would literally, when you had a flat, they would come and they would option to bring you a tire or bring you a part to your car or whatever it was. They were amazing. And I say were because they had to drop that benefit because people were starting to take advantage of it. So now they don't do that anymore. They just basically, they still have the towing service, but you have to basically, after it's actually been, they get it, you get your car towed, you just turn it in and they'll reimburse you. But the other stuff that they have with it is phenomenal. And one of them is Assist America. Assist America is a plan where literally, if you get trapped anywhere around the world, they will send somebody to come and get you. Wow. I mean, literally like helicopter, private jet, they will come and get you. And one of the stories that got me involved was one of the members of our men's gathering. His name was Carl Holmes. Y'all remember Carl Holmes?
I remember Carl Holmes. Yeah, I remember Carl.
Yeah.
On the radio.
Yeah, that's my buddy. So Carl Holmes actually was a representative of NMC. He introduced me. He said there was a situation where a good friend of his, they just picked up the coverage. Well, actually, he and his wife flew to Las Vegas, all right? And they were in Las Vegas. And they showed the picture. It was actually a hit the news, matter of fact. This was a story back a while ago. They were in Las Vegas and he got ill. The husband was ill. He got so ill that he literally passed out, found out it was his kidneys, and he had kidney failure.
Wow.
So he was hospitalized. And now that he was hospitalized, he was staying over the time that they were, of course, supposed to come home. So they found out that it would take to get him transport back to Philadelphia would take them $20,000.
Oh, wow.
Ouch.
That just gave me a headache.
Said, ouch.
That gave me a headache, man.
But his I think it was his daughter or his niece, before they left, signed he and his wife up for the NMC program, for this Assist America. So he says, you remember, before y'all left, I signed y'all up. So soon as you sign up, the day you sign up, you're automatically covered, right?
Wow.
They covered and paid for the entire trip. They sent a private jet to Las Vegas, picked them up, and I mean, special, of course, the medical jets, the medical jets, right? And transferred them directly back here to University of Pennsylvania. And that was well over $20,000. And they also will do this. If you are someone that's in a country and you are detained for whatever reason, whether it's your sickness or whatever, they will actually, and they know you're going to be there for a long time, they will fly your family to you. This place, I'll tell you, this Assist America is amazing. They will fly your entire family to you, to see you, to take care of you, whatever it is. And if you're in a country that speaks a different language, they will assign a special interpreter for you. I mean, it gets deep like that. These folks really know what they do. They got an app on there. They got an app. So when you get the coverage, you get an app to your phone. And then they will actually, when you leave whenever I leave for vacation or I'm traveling, I just punch in my destination and it gives me everything that I need to look out for. Quick alerts, anything with government alerts, anything that's late, they're tied in directly. They're tied directly into the State Department. So if there's any immediate alerts or anything that goes across, they immediately get it and they alert it to you on your app. They are outstanding. That's all I can say. They're outstanding. So that's called Assist America. But it comes if you get National Motor Club, which I do recommend you get also, because they got identity theft, they got personal accident coverage, they got vision and prescription savings, they got online shopping discounts, they even got a bail bonds thing situation.
I love that.
Get in trouble,
I love that.
Just in case you get in trouble, if you get in trouble, they got a bail bond on this thing. So check it out. Go to nmc.com. Okay. And then that's part of it is called Assist America. Everybody in my family is on it. Yeah.
How about, do they have attorneys?
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. So just check into it. Go to the website and they'll give you all the details. Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. So,
Thank you.
I'll say bon voyage.
Bon
Have a great
Yeah, I'm
voyage.
leaving on the
time.
29th.
Okay. Yeah,
Thank you.
excellent. Excellent. Have a
Thank
good
you.
time and then check in with that. He'll give you a good breakdown of what's going on in that specific country that you're going in. Okay?
Okay. Thank
All
you.
right.
God bless.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Peace.
All right. Let's see. What else we have?
All right. Anybody
Marcy,
else?
that's sort of like a testimony. That's
Yeah,
like a
no, yeah, it
testimony.
is.
Let's
Yeah.
give Marcy a hand
That
for
is
it.
a
Yeah,
testimony.
you can't slide that by there. That was a testimony.
That's a
Everybody
testimony.
come off mute for Marcy,
Yeah, that was a
for
testimony,
Jimmy and
man.
Stephanie.
Because she
That's
was
right.
praying for vacation.
Congratulations.
Yeah, because
Dad gave it to her.
Thank you, Marcy.
All right.
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Marcy.
Come to
That's why you
Africa.
got to take care of yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
I think
right,
that's
buddy.
Go and pray to the circle that I do, drumming circle, healing drumming circles. They asked me to
yes.
come over there and pray to the door of no return.
Mm,
Oh,
yes,
all
So that's
right.
what
yes.
All right.
and I'll be sending prayers to you all and everyone and praying to
Yeah.
myself first for the love.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we need it.
Have you ever been to the Door of No Returns? Have you ever been
No,
there? Oh wow.
no,
Yeah.
my
I'm not
first.
gonna spoil it for you. It's gonna be amazing. Get prepared.
Yeah,
Get ready.
thank
Yeah,
you.
get ready.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really an incredible experience. If you've never had a chance to go to the Doors of No Return, and you're going to, you said, where are you going to?
Senegal.
Senegal. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's several different doors that are on that coast, on the western coast. I was in Ghana, so I was at the
went to
two
Ghana.
doors. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's something to take in, family. It's really a
Yes.
lot. You can feel it. I felt the castle, the Elmina Castle, is the one I felt the most. I felt like I could feel I could feel them around me. I could feel the heaviness of what went down just being in that location. It was amazing. So
Thank you.
So I wish you well. Okay.
Thank you. That
Safe.
is a testimony because I did a cleansing and my affirmation was for me to step on some new grounds as I cleansed and I prayed. And
Yes.
I got that
See?
call to go
Yes.
there.
See?
Yes.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
that's the testimony.
Yeah, man.
That's
It
right.
certainly
That's
is.
right.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Amen on that.
All day
All right.
long.
Yes,
All right.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, buddy.
Okay. All right.
All right. Anybody else? Anybody else? Come on now. Come on now. Don't.
Anyone else have a testimony you want to share with the family?
Just wanna
Anything?
say-
Can I?
Yes, you certainly.
Sure.
So your class last week, you probably mentioned this some time ago about the castor oil
Yes.
or clove oil pack.
Yes.
I put it on a spot of pain that I was having, and my chiropractor was like, "Man, this is the most normal I've seen you walk in a while." Oh yeah, that does really help relieve pain.
All right, baby. Let's come off mute
All right,
for her
baby.
for putting the castor oil pack on her.
That's right, buddy.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Castor oil and clove.
Right. Yes,
Castor oil
indeed.
and clove.
Yeah, castor oil and clove
Clove.
pack. Yes, that's a
It's
great
all different in the
combination.
world.
It's amazing.
See?
Yeah.
All you gotta do is do the work. Do the work.
Yep,
Do the work,
that
y'all.
it's called rhisolenic acid.
Congratulations.
That stuff
Yeah.
really does
Indeed,
work.
indeed.
Really
All
does
right,
work.
there was another one that was I said iPhone 56.
That's
That's
me,
Yvette.
I believe.
That's
Is that-
Yvette.
That's Yvette.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yes. Hi, Dr. Paul and Big Bill.
Hey,
hey.
man.
And
Hey.
everyone,
Mhm.
community. I'm just happy to say that I have become a swimmer. I
Oh,
swim every night
All
after
right.
work.
Oh,
And
Oh.
I feel a transformation in my body. My muscles are starting to tighten up and
Nice.
I just feel great. And then I go into the sauna and I feel it's just a good feeling. My body is just like refreshed.
Yes.
And I'm not as stressed as I used to be. The stress
yeah.
just comes out in the pool because I do the doggy paddle, I do the front stroke, the back stroke, everything.
Well,
So
Nice.
I can't stand you. Go ahead, girl.
Yo, let's
And
go.
so and one other thing, just continuing to do God's work. I see homeless people on my way to work and they have their cup out looking for money, but I give them eternal water. Whatever I have in my car, I carry water around with me. And also for breakfast, I travel with my tangerines in the morning. So I gave them my tangerines and water. And the one person opened up the eternal water and drank it and kept drinking. He's like, wow, this is some good water.
All right
So
now.
I told him it's water from the source. And
Mhm.
yeah, so I'm going to continue doing that. And I just,
Yes.
like you said, I think I'm not quoting your exact words, but water is our life. It just brings life to the body when you have water. So
Listen,
just looking
Yeah.
at their
we
bodies,
can't do without it.
Yeah.
that's it.
That's
Looking at
right.
their bodies, you can see they're dehydrated because either they were on drugs or whatever they're doing.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you can see the dehydration. I'm saying that it was good to see them eating the fruit and the drinking the water
Yes,
that
yes,
I
yes.
gave them
Yes.
almost immediately. So I
Mm-hmm.
just thank God for being able to bless those people, and that's it.
Absolutely. Come on,
Excellent,
mute,
excellent,
right?
All
Who
excellent.
is
right.
that? Irene? Who is
Congratulations.
that?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes.
All
That is
right.
beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you so
Nice.
much.
That's
Beautiful.
awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
We always say life begets life.
Yes, sir,
So
buddy.
whether you are feeding people or whether you're speaking life, people will gravitate towards life,
Amen. So
So
very
when
true.
the truth is the truth. They say the truth is like a two-edged sword.
Yeah, it
You
is,
remember they
buddy.
said that? You remember heard that
Mm-hmm.
expression?
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
means it'll cut you both ways.
I know that's right.
Going and coming back.
Well,
So that's
I know that's right.
so congratulations. Keep up the great work, and staying as an example for the people. People don't know that there is a difference. People think water is water, and I tell them all the time, water is not water. It's what they're doing to the water that you're not understanding.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Mm-hmm.
good stuff. Keep that up. All right. Good stuff.
Hello,
Good stuff.
everyone. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can,
Hey,
Nita. How are
hey,
you?
Nisa. Mm-hmm.
Okay, grand risings to everyone. I'm on the phone, so I'm trying to get used to using this phone, being on the phone. I had to come out. I came out to the facility to see my husband and bring him dinner, but we had a little accident here, so I'm still here
Okay.
because we had to get him in the shower. But
Okay.
one thing I wanted to say to Marcy, because she's going to the door of no return, and my husband and I were there. And what was so surprising, my husband, he said, okay, I got to get something. So he pulled some of the bricks out of the wall that were loose. And we brought them home. He had them in a plastic bag, and I just put them under the bed at his size on the carpet underneath there. I said, I'll get something to put them in.
Mm.
Well, you know how things go. They stay there for a little while.
Mm.
But when I removed those bricks, and they were in a plastic bag, and because I found something to put them in, a case like
Mhm.
where those bricks were, it turned the color of my carpet.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Wow.
I said, these are some powerful bricks. I said, I don't know what, and I still have them. Even
Mm.
my son happened to come over because I had them here in Florida. And he said, I want one of those. So he took one, So,
Wow.
but tell her I'm sitting, Marcy, I know she's listening.
Yes, I'm
Take some
listening.
tissues, with you. Because
Yeah.
it was very hard. Yeah,
Yes.
very
You're
hard
gonna
to
feel it.
see.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yes,
feel
I
it.
heard.
Anyone that's gonna experience that it's gonna wake you up and say, wow. You know what I found amazing? I took home, you said you took home a brick. I took home nails.
Wow.
Nails. I took home nails, like nails that were put together. That with the actual, the Elmina Castle was put together with, and I had to think about this nail. I looked at this nail and said that this nail could actually speak, and tell a story. This nail would say that of all of the atrocities that was put together, all of that, you should see the structure is amazing the way they put it together, all for the purpose of enslaving a people.
Mm-hmm.
You had to look at what it took for them to put all this together just to enslave people. And I took that one nail as a way of reminding me, of how never to forget that experience ever in my life.
Mm.
So,
Right.
so you might
And
find something. You might find
that's
something
right.
that strikes your, your heart when you're there. But
Absolutely.
yeah.
And for the young lady with the castor oil and the
Thank
Yes.
you,
Yeah,
Nita.
but we're going to say congratulations to you, Nitha, so because you always taking care of folks, taking care of your husband. Everybody come off mute for
That's right.
Nitha.
We always got
Thank
Nita's
you.
back,
Yes.
Send
y'all.
love.
All
Yes,
right,
Nita.
indeed.
Nita.
Indeed,
Divine
indeed.
support.
Yes.
Much
Good
love. Much
stuff.
love,
Good
Nita.
stuff.
Divine support, Nita.
Great job, sweetheart.
That's
Yes.
right. That's
Okay.
right. That's
I'm
right.
Yes.
ready to
Yeah.
leave. He finished eating, but I can't leave because we showered him. And I can't leave yet because I'm getting ready to moisturize his legs with my castor oil and
Oh,
clove oil.
Well,
okay. There
all
you
right
go.
now. All right now. You better watch out, Nita. You
What,
might start dancing. Them. I'm
You might
watching.
start
what
dancing.
about Nita? What about that sea buckthorn?
Yes,
Yes.
well, the sea buckthorn, I don't use that as a moisturizer on the legs and the whole
Okay.
body.
Mm,
I use that for my face.
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
And I have it in my formula for my hair. But
Mm,
I'm telling you, I'm going to bring the sea buckthorn here because I just told them you didn't let me know. My husband now has an ulcer on his heel.
oh wow.
Oh.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they came in. Oh, I came in to dress his wound, and I said, "But what are you using?"
Mm,
And she said, "Oh, we're using Sandhill and antibiotic ointment."
mm,
So I looked at his heel. I said, "You don't need to put Sandhill on here. Why are you putting
mhm.
Sandhill?" Sandhill is a ointment for debriding dead tissue. I
Mm-hmm.
said his tissue is all pink, so we're not going to use Sandhill on here. So I know I got to come back tomorrow and bring my sea buckthorn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I
I
will
have
take
one
care
more.
of this.
Nita, I know one nurse friend said that Manuka honey will help heal those wounds as well. Manuka honey.
I do have a honey treatment. I have that at home.
Okay.
So
All
Mm,
either
right.
I was going to do my honey or I'm going to do the sea buckthorn. I'm going to try the sea buckthorn first. And if that doesn't work, I do have some tubes of honey.
Okay.
okay.
God bless.
Yeah. All good
All
stuff. All
right.
good
All right.
stuff. All right.
All right, Nathan.
Okay, Nitha. All right. Let's
We
see.
got
Who
you,
else we
girl. We
have
got you.
here?
Anybody else?
Anybody
Anybody?
else? Anyone
I
else?
have I have a testimony.
Yes.
Okay.
This is Sheena.
Yes. Go
Hey,
ahead.
Sheena. Mm-hmm.
How you doing?
All right.
Dr. Paul, I want to tell you that this green drink was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was diagnosed, I was on last week, um, and I was diagnosed with a lung disease. Um, I used to have to use my nebulizer every morning when I wake up, like every couple hours. Well, I haven't used it since Sunday.
Ooh.
And
All
Look
right.
out now.
I'm
Mm,
not coughing as much. Um, I'm not spitting up as much sputum as I used to.
mm,
Um, it's just very powerful and it's really working for me. And I want to say thank you for whatever formula or whatever God laid on your heart to
Whatever
make the
it is.
formula. But
well,
it's awesome.
awesome,
And
awesome, awesome.
I really thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I appreciate that, Sheena. But you know what? Your faith has made you whole because you
Amen.
applied the principle.
Amen.
You know, so everybody come off mute for
That's exactly right,
Sheena.
Sheena.
Go ahead,
All right,
Sheena.
Sheena.
Yes.
Come on,
Congratulations.
y'all. Come
Keep
on,
it
come
up.
on,
Keep
come
it up.
on,
Keep
come
it up.
on.
Amen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There you
Always
go.
doing, Sheena.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
That is great
Give it
news,
up,
Sheena. You
Sheena.
know, some of the things that are happening with the very thing that happens with the green drink is chlorophyll. Chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is like plant melanin.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, when it hits mucus on contact, it expels. It's an expectorant, so it pushes it off the body immediately. And then also, we say raises the alkalinity because that becomes antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, antiseptic, and antiparasitic all at one time when you raise the pH. So really, the key is raising the pH because we get that energy from hydrogen. Got
Right.
it?
Right.
Now, the key is most of us living on this northern hemisphere, we don't get real energy. So
Yeah,
when
that
we
is true.
get introduced to real energy, our body's taking dynamic change. And that means it raises the pH, and then you clear out anything that's bacterial, viral, fungal, septic. It's got to go. You got it? It's got to go. Can't live in that environment. So you just keep up doing what you're doing, and and make sure you're drinking plenty of water, okay?
Okay. Now let me ask you this. I do, in addition to the green drink regular chlorophyll as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a need for that, or
not necessarily? But it's because anything green is chlorophyll. That's plant melanin. Yep, that's in it. That's anything. If you're doing regular chlorophyll, that's probably alfalfa. Alfalfa is already in mine, but if you want to add more, you can always add more. That's the beautiful thing about it, is that you're always going to be raising that alkalinity so that your body can actually now adjust to anything like mucus, parasites, anything that's out that doesn't belong there. It's got to go. As simple as that. Yeah. So you're doing good. So I'm proud of you. Put your hands together for you, because you're doing it. All right. So keep it up.
All right.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's see what we got here.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else?
Anyone else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Because testimonies, I tell you, we we don't get folks will say like, I wanted to say something. I was on the other day. But you know what? Every bit counts. Every bit. If you see any type of change, we want to celebrate you, because that's part of the crawl, walk, run.
Yes.
You got to start to show some levels of moving forward. Did you know that in the medical and the pharmaceutical industry, they consider 1% to be significant? Did you hear that? That's 1%. So that means if you're doing 1% better, taking pharmaceutical medicine, they call that significant.
Wow, that's deep. See?
You got that? So what does that mean if you're taking herbs and next thing you know, the blood pressure comes way down? Or now when I look at the sugar levels, it's way below the A1C number of 5.6, and you're doing like numbers that they can't figure out what's going on. That means something. Hold on to that. That's what you need to be always making yourself, and write that stuff down, because that reminds you that, guess what? I'm moving forward, not backwards. I'm moving forward. Got it? So keep that in mind. All right.
Dr. Paul, I just want to say that I've been passing the word because I'm really ecstatic with you. And I'm grateful for you and your talent and your contribution to health. And I've had 4 members, some family and friend, that has come on board, and one that was she doesn't leave quickly, but when she listened to you, she was impressed. So I just want to say to everybody, open your ears and your eyes.
There you go,
Queen. I appreciate that, Queen. I appreciate that, Queen. That's a testimony right there, Queen. I tell you, because you know what? I just pray that people can hear, this stuff was impressed on me. It's something that I've gone through. And I thank the good Lord for allowing me to be able to bring this forward for the family. Because I think about, what I was on my way to be doing. I was playing baseball and not even thinking about, something of medicine. But, God have his way about, hey, you're going to do this. When God says you don't do what he's going to do, you're going to do it anyway. As Grandma
Queen, he was trying to be stubborn, not stubborn, stubborn. And Dad said, all right, homie, try it. I got one for you.
Yeah, I ain't gonna be like Jonah now. I ain't gonna get caught up in no way.
Well, I know that's right, buddy. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else?
Anyone else? Anyone else? All right.
Okay. Well, let's go up to Karen up at the top, and then we'll come back to a couple of the questions inside. Karen, you there, buddy?
Oh, yes. Good evening. Good evening. How's everyone?
Okay. What's up, buddy? How you been, man?
Yeah, excellent. Excellent. I figure I'd just ask a quick question, and don't get mad at me. I'm just asking a question. It may start.
That's always that's always a pre-warning.
Let me get my boxing gloves ready.
He's warning me, baby.
Yeah, get mad at the answer that's given. That means and Dr. Paul. But the question is, occasionally, the topic comes up. Let me just get right to it. The toilet seat in the restrooms.
Oh, help me, Lord.
All right, I'll tell it, brother. It's the toilet seat.
I don't think you ever addressed this, but can you up or down? That's the question. Up or down? I know what I do, and I know what I think and why, but up or down with the toilet seat?
Okay, what do you mean for the purposes of public, or you mean home? What do you mean?
In people's homes.
In people's homes. Oh, well, I think if it's customary to put the seat down, okay, that would be it. Men, it's just that we in, we out. We don't forget about it. Next thing you know, we're washing our hands, we're going out, and not thinking about the fact that you're supposed to put the seat down. That's technically that's correct. So when the women come back in and say, you left the seat up again, because a lot of times if it's dark or it's sometime at night when you're kind of like your faculties are not always in order, it could be you can have an accident, so sometimes y'all know what I'm talking about. Amen. So is that what you were talking about? In that realm, or you mean covering the seat? I thought you were talking about covering.
No, I was talking about up or down, and basically it's for hygiene purposes with the everything flying up in the air. But ladies tend to want it up out of convenience, but it should be down for.
When you flush, when you flush, it should be down.
Yes.
Yep.
Because they measured how far that the particulates actually spray, and they spray all the way up to the ceiling.
It's like a gunshot, man.
You're talking about the lid.
Yep.
The lid, not the seat. The lid of the
lid. That's what I'm talking about. The lid. Because when you flush, literally for it to go down, particulates can go as high as the ceiling.
Yep.
So a lot of that gets, into the air, gets all around inside of the bathroom. It goes into areas, and then that becomes an unsanitary environment now. So that's when you keep flushing. That's why you got to do the floors over, and then people miss the, of course, men. We're not sitting, most of us, and then therefore it can be getting on the floor or on the sides or anyways. And if you have diabetes, that becomes another issue because that causes sticky urine. So it's a lot of things to keep in mind with that. But yeah, you should keep the lid down when you flush. That is correct.
That was my answer, and that's what I preach. So
okay,
but
all
I
right.
know ladies like to leave the lid up out of convenience, and but I just figured I'd ask you that just to bring it up
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
You can flush it, and then if they want it for convenience, raise it back up once it's flushed. Because that's really when the activity happens. When it flushes, when it hits that bottom, when that water's flushing out, that spray that comes back up can go as high as the ceiling, they say.
What about those bathrooms that flush on their own when you go to the public bathrooms? The bathroom flush on their own. You can't close it.
Yeah, you can't close it. That's correct. Right. That's something to think about. That's why a lot of people don't use the public bathrooms. Some people don't use the bathroom for that very purpose. Yeah. So
there's also there are several other reasons, but there are things that crawl up through the toilet as well.
Please.
You leave that lid open. You have frogs, you have snakes, and so
did you hear about the guy that was on the toilet? He was living in Australia. Not like we have to worry about this in Australia. We don't have, but maybe in Florida now you may have to watch some stuff. But
you do.
Yeah. But this guy went to the bathroom. He went to the bathroom in the middle of the night. You know how you don't always cut the light on, and he just went to the bathroom and he sat down. And then he felt this pain. Something hit him in the behind. He turned the light on. There was a snake in the toilet. Yeah.
now.
The snake had come through the sewer system and came right up to them and was sitting right in there.
Ouch.
And bit him right in the behind. Yeah.
Stop.
So that'll make everybody listening right now watch before you go in there. You're gonna be looking at the toilet every time you go in there. Absolutely.
That's exactly my point to it. So that's it. I don't want to belabor the point.
All right.
But
that was good, man. Was that a testimony or was it a question? Well, like a question.
No, it's just a question. No testimony. I just get into these conversations every now and then. I don't, know why.
That's a good one though, because a lot of people have, debated that for many eons, whether to put the seat down or not. So
along with the toilet paper, over or under.
That's another one. That's another one.
Hey, Karen, that's war. That's wartime, man.
That's war. You're gonna get fighting now. You're gonna fight now.
Y'all crazy.
Over
for me.
Over for you.
Over. Yes.
Over. Who's over? Anybody else over?
I'm under.
I'm over. Let's touch it. Let's touch it over.
Over for me.
Over.
Under.
No comment.
Herb said no comment.
How about glad to have some paper?
Well.
That'll be it.
How about the days in the country when you had corn cobs? Well, whole nother ball game.
All right, Karen. That's good. As always, Karen, you striking it up, brother.
I went smoother than what I thought. So let me quit while I'm ahead.
Hey, go ahead. All right, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Over on the side, Rachel wants to know, Dr. Now, how is it that people state that herbs are poison and don't bat an eye when they take pharmaceutical medicine?
Who's saying herbs are poisonous?
No, she was saying that. I guess the people are saying that.
Yeah, that's because they just don't understand. The herbs are not poison. The herbs is food. It's very few herbs out here that really you probably couldn't even get a hold of anyway, because and those are the herbs that are really herbs that demand a lot of water. They're like dark black tea herbs that can't even get in the United States that are really like that. And, you got to look at the real thing, that anything in the ground has its purpose. It's nature itself.
Right.
So if you're looking at comparing that to pharmaceuticals, that's just not knowing, because anyone that knows that pharmaceuticals every year, 300,000 minimum, 300,000 people die taking medication they didn't even need. Got it? 700,000 people die of a procedure. That's 1 million people every year. And then when they say, well, what about this herb? Is this herb safe? Well, how many people pass away every year from taking herbs? How about a goose egg? None.
How about that?
None. So it's all about an understanding that it's been what's been promoted, what's been preached in the narrative. And it's just to understand, to keep people away from their culture, I believe. We have to understand that this is the only thing that people of color had. There was no,
I know that's right,
during the slave times when people were going out, there was no options. We had to use the herbs to fight bacteria, viruses, and funguses. And this is how Harriet Tubman was able to get people through the slave.
Amen, buddy.
She actually, did y'all know that she used to use mullein? Did y'all know she used to use mullein? And then the way that she knew how to go north was there was a certain level of moss that only grew on one side of the tree. How about this? Come on, y'all. Come on now.
That's right. No,
come on now. If the herbs ain't talking to you, then I'm gonna say, what? I don't know what you're looking for.
I know that's right, buddy.
So when people say things like that, it's just because they probably just don't know. They don't have a true knowledge base, of really where the data comes from. But really, when people say that, that's just in their level of not knowing. That's it. I don't take it against them or anything, because they haven't been taught. And, I say if you haven't been taught, then you shouldn't be in the conversation. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Okay, go ahead.
All right, Dr. Green. One other question, then we'll go up to C in the corner. My question is, Dr. Moore, is eating according to your blood type beneficial for your health? I just learned that my blood type is B+. I'm having some gastrointestinal issues. Thank you.
Yeah, probably I would say this. You said was it the eating for your blood type, right?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. That's Kimberly's question.
Right. That actually came out. I get this question a lot. That was actually a book that came out a while back, and it was based on the fact that each person's blood type is based on the control study, said that these are the foods that are good and the things that you got to stay away from. So I look at that and say, take it as a grain of salt now. Things have changed since the publication of that book. That was based on if everything was on a flat playing field and that we're looking at organic foods. But right now, if you're not addressing this GMO factor, that is nullified. Okay, you cannot take out of the equation the factor of nitrates, chlorpyrifos, glyphosates. Things that you can't even pronounce are in these foods. Y'all see it every week when we talk about it on here. And the levels of pesticides that are being there. Did you know that because of this, there is a new blood type? Did y'all know that?
Did
you know that there is a new blood type? Yeah, there's a new blood type.
No, what type is it?
Yeah, there's a type. Just punch it in. Just punch it into Google. It'll tell you the whole thing. Just punch it in. Who said that? Linda? Punch it right in. Punch in Google new blood type. They discovered it. And they said it was because of so much of the levels of mutations that are happening because we're exposed to so many chemicals. You got it?
Yep.
So when you talk about eating for your blood type, I would say some of that is still relevant. It is relevant. Some of it relevant, but I would take it as a grain of salt, though.
Mm-hmm.
I would still say you have to keep your fundamentals in focus. You know, the right water, the right hydrogen greens, stay away from the pesticides, get your exercise, get your plenty of rest. Keep those fundamentals in base.
Right.
Those are your base foundation for better, proper health.
It's called a MAL, MAL blood group.
Yeah, I see it now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. See, this is the stuff that doesn't get totally publicized, but it's there and it's happening. They don't want to go into it too deep because it changes the way people perceive things and understand that. Wait a minute, what else is going on? If you changed and now there's another blood type, well, what's that? What's that look like? So you see what I'm saying? So when you see, things like that in the past are good, but take it as a grain of salt. Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Dr. Paul. I appreciate it.
All right. Very good, Kim.
No problem, Kim.
All right. Celia, it's on you now. Celia Jones.
Hey.
Hey, what's up, Celia? What you doing? What you got? A Mickey Mouse shirt on? What you got?
I love Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse and Snoopy.
All right. What's up?
All right. What's going on?
I wanted to veggie back off of last week's Zoom.
Oh, I like the way you rolled into that. She just said veggie back. All right.
That was nice and smooth. Veggie back.
She was smooth. Go ahead.
So last week you was talking about the nitrates causing neuropathy, right?
Well, it can cause a lot of problems. Acidity, which means that you start to get acid, and it can affect your nerve endings. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you was talking about the watermelon and the cantaloupe, especially, and that's what I eat like most of the time. If I'm not eating watermelon, I'm eating cantaloupe.
Did you get your tester? You gotta grab your tester. Here you go. Right here, y'all. See
right
it? You see where mine is always with me. See there? Got it with me. See that tester? This tester does it all, y'all. Let me tell you, it makes a big difference. It's called the green test. Green test. Let me see. Can you see it? It's not on. There's too many lights in there. Yeah, too many. But on here, it tests fruits, vegetables, meat, and fish for levels of nitrates, which we know that all foods have nitrates, fruits, vegetables, meats, and fish, but to what level when it gets dangerous, that's what this is for. It's for the purposes of not going too high. So it'll give you an average on what that cantaloupe or what that watermelon should be, and then it'll say, this is what yours is. So I think you need to grab one, Cecile.
Yeah. Well, I can't afford it right now, Dr. Paul, so I'm gonna have to
go ahead. You go to Amazon, put it on layaway, put a little something on it.
if you got to pay $2 a week.
As we used to say back in the day, put a little something. Layaway. Can I put a little something on?
A little something.
All right, so
isn't it like How much?
No, this one's 80. This was 80. Yeah. This was $80 right here. The one that I had. Okay. Yeah.
All right, I'll think about that one.
It's worth it, because you think about it. You think about it. In about a week, it's gonna take care of itself. It's gonna pay for itself because you're not gonna buy the stuff that you were normally probably gonna buy, or if you did buy it, you'll know that, hey, I told y'all, don't go in the market just jabbing everything. All right, don't do that. You got to make sure if you're going to purchase it, test it, and then if it's bad, then take it to the produce manager and say, hey, your cantaloupes is looking kind of bad here, buddy. So.
All right. I also had a question about the Willard's water we was talking about last week.
Willard water, yeah, Willard. Mm-hmm.
Well, I was looking it up on Amazon, and most of them said concentrated. So I'm like confused. If we can't drink concentrated orange juice or cranberry juice, how can we drink the concentrated Willard's water?
Well, you don't use Willard water directly. You remember, it's added to. It's a catalyst. So you only take a small cap and add it to a gallon of water. That's why it's concentrated like that. It's concentrated energy. So it means that it's a catalyst. So it accelerates the energy of whatever water you already have. So it alkalizes. That's basically what it does. But it has minerals that are coming from the Black Dakota Mountains. And you remember I was telling you that there's, he took elements of the Black Dakota Mountains with some minerals added together. That's what creates his patent formula. So when you add it to water, it's going to accelerate it. So you don't drink it whole. You don't drink it straight like this. That's why it's in a small bottle. See that small bottle that I showed you? It's about this skinny, about this big. If you look at that bottle will last you probably almost a year.
Right. Mute yourself, Olivia. Olivia, mute yourself.
Olivia, mute yourself, Olivia.
Okay, that's
her.
It went out and came back up. There we go. Thank you.
I got her. Yeah. So keeping that in mind, Willard water is also in another tool for the toolbox. Look at it that way. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. That Mickey shirt. That Mickey looking kind of mad on that shirt.
Mickey said, "Y'all better leave me alone."
Mickey look like Mickey got a little attitude.
Minnie didn't go out with him.
Watch out, come on. Don't start no mess. Come on.
Maybe he be looking for Minnie. I
don't know. He said no.
Boy.
I don't know.
All right, Dr. P. Before we go to summer, Stephanie says, what can you take for bowel impaction? What can you for idiopathic intracranial hypertension? I don't know. That's two questions.
Hypertension. Let me deal with that one first. It has to be an evaluation on that because you gotta know how to eat. Hypertension can be a lot of different things. It could be, whenever you're looking at hypertension, they're going to look at the adrenal glands, the endocrine system. How are you functioning? How are you handling stress? How are you dealing with, your eating habits? It's all going back to balance, y'all. So when you're looking at something like hypertension, you have to be evaluated. That's what the RM3A is when people come in. We look at the RM3A will tell me if there's issues with the adrenal glands, if there's firing off, if there's stress in the intestines, if they're stressing the endocrine system, if there's plaque in the arteries and veins, is there endothelial disruption, which is the vessels in the arteries and veins. So it gives a breakdown. And the only way that you can really be sure to bring that hypertension down is that you got to be fully analyzed, analyzed before you can move forward. That's what I would say with that. Now, what was the first one again? What was the first question?
About bowel impaction.
Bowel impaction has bowel impaction. And it's the same person? Same person?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Stephanie.
Okay, so the bowel impaction has a lot to do with food, concentrated foods, dehydration, number one. And the first thing people will do is take a what? They'll give them what if you're in the hospital?
Laxative.
A stool softener.
Stool softener, yeah.
If nothing ain't moving, I don't want to put a stool softener.
Mm-hmm.
The things that you need, number one, you got to get your water on point. Okay, if you're not doing your water and people say, well, I'm almost there. You got bowel obstruction of any kind. you got to be very careful because you don't want it to become an emergency situation where you have to get that, released. And so you may have to do an enema, or they have to take you to the hospital and do it, and different methods for what they have to do based on whatever you're experiencing. So I would say whenever you have something like that, get your water right first, because it's always going to come back to the water every time. Stay away from concentrated foods, anything that's dehydrated. We say what? Thick, creamy,
and pour slow.
Things that pour slow. That's it. When you stay off refined sugar, refined salt, refined oils, when we go down the list for impacted bowels, it's going to be in there somewhere. They're doing something wrong. It's always concentration, dehydrated. You're too much processed foods. It's drying up the bowels. Nothing can't move. It's just like, it's like a desert inside your bowels. That's what's going on. So, of course, that's going to block up everything, and then that's going to get impacted, and then that can cause a whole lot of other problems. Too much weight.
Right.
Heavy foods also. Heavy foods. Did you know what's a heavy food that people have to watch out when you have that? Bananas. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. Bananas. Yeah, if you got bowel problems, you got to lay off the bananas. Too heavy.
Someone was just asking about a banana. They should take a banana and an apple every day.
Yeah, but sometimes the weight of the banana is too heavy. When someone sometimes people will have hiatal hernias or inguinal hernias or umbilical hernias, and they're still eating a lot of heavy foods. You can't mess with heavy foods. So you got to pull off the heavy foods, got to get that water. I'm telling you, the water is the number one. It always comes back to the water every time. Yeah, so keep that in mind, okay?
Okay. Dr. Paul, before I go to Summer, there's a question over Facebook. Says, I have a friend that has emphysema. Can she be helped? That's Claudia.
Everybody can be helped. Yeah, anything. Everybody can help. Emphysema. Any type of emphysema. I always tell everyone, and apparently this may have been, and I'm sure, I don't know, but did they mention anything like a past smoker or anything like that?
No, Claudia didn't say.
Okay.
Said that, yeah.
Yeah, they can always be helped. What happens is the bronchial tubes get inflamed. They're like bulbs. They look like balls, look like just like this, balls. And then their job is to take the oxygen in, right? And to bring it into the bloodstream, right? To cool down the lungs, keep cool down, but also brings everything into filtering at the same time. But when they get inflamed, they swell larger than normal size. Now that blocks the ability for you to receive that oxygen. And then that's when people are having things like emphysema. Now it could be because of smoking, because that will damage or scar the lungs, or you have tar buildup. So that's a detox issue also. That's another step. We take you through another step with that. But usually what we start to do is we start to number one, introduce you to the expectorant herbs. The expectorants are the ones that I just mentioned. That would be things like mullein.
Right.
Not to diagnose, treat, kill, prevent any disease, just food for the soul. Things like pleurisy. Things like olive leaf. Olive leaf. Things like horehound. You got it? These are all lungs. This is all lungs. Oregano oil. All of these things, black seed. All of those actually are good binders. Cape aloes. They bind to stuff to pull it out of you, and that's really what's in order. But again, they would have to be fully evaluated before we move forward, especially if they were a past smoker.
Okay.
There is an herb though that what's traditionally used for smokers, and this is just in case it was a smoker. That's called lobelia. 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 That's the smoker's herb. That's what we call the smoker's herb.
Okay. That's Stephanie. You got that right? Okay. All right, Dr. And the other question about the banana and apple, that came from Eva. All right.
Okay. All right. Good. We got some good questions tonight.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to stop right there, Big B.
Sure.
I want to talk a little bit about something real quick. And I know I got to break out a little bit early tonight. But I want to talk about this thing. Has anyone ever heard of a potentizer? Potentizer.
No.
Potentizer. Anybody ever heard of a potentizer? Anybody? Potentate.
Potentate, not a potentizer.
Down south, I heard the term potentate, but I don't remember what it meant.
A potentate. No, this is a potentizer.
Okay. Okay, so what is it?
Hold up. No, I think you mean potentate was actually, I think that's the monarchs. Okay, that was the monarchs, right? All right. So here, the potentizer is actually a device that has the ability to transfer energy from one to the other, and it's interesting. So when this actually came about, and it's been, I guess they say controversial, but guess who invented it? It came from a lot of the pharmacies back in the day, back when the pharmacies were actually herbalists, you know?
Right.
So they had this device called the potentizer, and it would look like a little doggy dish. You ever see a doggy dish?
Yeah.
So they would take, like, for example, Big B, you got a cough, and you sneeze in, and you got a little headache, and you come to me and says, you know, Doc, what you got? And I say, well, Big B, you gave me your symptoms. Here are your herbs right here. Got it? So instead of, you know, like I was just giving out those herbs just then, right? I gave you what? Horehound. I gave you mullein. Gave you what? Lobelia. I gave you all those herbs, right? Instead of taking all of them, I take all those herbs and put them in the left side of the dish. Got it? On the right side, I take a glass of water. Got it? In the middle, there's a little drawbar. I hit the switch. All the energy that came from all those herbs went right into that water. Wow. Yep, that's it. That's called the potentizer. So a lot of these things that, you know, you'll be seeing a lot of the products that are on the shelves that may have been potentized, like the liquids, like the liquid herbals and things like that. Sometimes you'll see that, or even pharmaceuticals, because guess what? The first huge potentizer was right here in Philadelphia on 11th and Arch Street.
Come on now. Talk to me, Dr. P.
And yep, it sure was. You can punch in potentizer, history of potentizer, and it'll actually show you where it was. Matter of fact, when you look at it, it was by Borick and Tafel. That's where they were. They were Borick and Tafel. And they had this thing called the Skinner potentizer. And it was at 1011 Arch Street. That's where they were. Now, here's the wild part. I'm going to show y'all what one looks like. You want me to show you what one looks like? Let me see. Did I erase it? Hold up. Let me make sure. I don't know, Big B. I think I took it down. I think I did not. Okay. I don't know. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can pull it up. Because when I said, let me take a look at this, and maybe I can pull it up to let you see what one looks like. So if you may go to Google, okay, you can go to Google, and let me see if I can put potentizer. And I want to show you what the machine looks like. And you're going to say, well, wait a minute. It looks like a little doggy dish, because that's exactly what it actually draws energy. Interesting enough, when you see this, the one that was on Arch Street, guess how big it was? It was actually bigger than a city-wide block.
I can believe that.
Wasn't it part of homeopathic?
Yep, that is correct.
Homeopathy,
that is the whole concept. The whole concept is homeopathy, which means takes a little poison and a remedy. So what they're doing is transferring of energy. But it was, of course, it was debatable. But guess what? The pharmaceutical industry was using it just as much as anybody else. Matter of fact, you'll see a lot of times, if you see you'll see things like the liquid forms. Make sure you're reading your liquid forms of your pharmaceutical, or not just the pharmaceuticals, but also your herbs, because sometimes they've been potentized. Or you may have seen that. You may have saw that on the label and did not know what it meant. But that's what it means, is that this was actually, that liquid in there is not their actual herb. It's taking the energy from those herbs to make that now water is energized with all the herbs that were on the other side. Isn't that amazing? That's amazing. So let me show you what one looks like. This is what it looks like. All right, let me show you what it looks like. All right. I found one. Big B, I found one.
All right, good.
I found one. Now I can't get back to it. Hold up. Here it is. Let me see if I can save that. And if you're probably following me right now, you may be able to look one up. Can you see it? All right, let me show you one.
Almost looks like a file cabinet.
It looked like a doggy dish. Hold up. Let me see it. Hold up. I'm going to come off here. I'm going to come off and y'all still with me, right? Everybody's still with me, right? You're still with me, right? All right, let me let some more folks in. Folks still coming in. Folks still coming in. So you never heard of a potentizer. How about that?
One looks like a washing machine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a washing machine.
It looked like a washing machine.
Yeah.
So see it right there?
Dang, that is right there.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I see that. Oh, wow. I seen it too.
See what it is? So in here, you got the inside. That's the inside. And that's the outside. So whatever you put in here, so Big B said, I need that, man. I'm coughing, I'm sneezing, I'm going all off, man. And I say, well, Big B, I got all the herbs. I'm going to put them all in here. So what this machine does, it transfers and grabs the energy of the herbs and puts it into whatever's in this side. But just the energy. So you now have the quality of energy that's from all of the herbs into the water. Isn't that amazing? That's amazing.
So Dr. Paul's base is pulling the frequency, or does it emulsify?
Yeah, that is exactly it. So it just shows you that everything, the scripture in life says what? Everything that have life, praise the Lord. Everything vibrates at a certain vibration, a tone, a frequency, a color. Got it? Just like every bone in our body has a tone, a frequency, a vibration. And so that means anything that is alive, even, remember even the scripture says that I'm not going to let the rocks cry out to the Lord. I'm not going to let a rock cry out. I will cry out before I let a rock cry out. Yeah, that means that everything has a vibration. It's a low vibration, but it's still everything. If you were able to look at it under a what they call a spectroscope, it will be vibrating, moving like this, just moves slightly moving. So this machine is what it's used for. Is that amazing? That it could take that and put it into some water, and now you drink the water, it's like you took all those herbs. Ooh, that's something. That's something. So that's also the premise for why you see a lot of the bottles that are tinted. You see a lot of the tinted bottles?
Yes,
because that means that they can hold the frequency. That's the whole purpose of them holding the frequency. Okay. I remember when I was 14 years old. I told y'all, did I tell y'all I was working at Smith Klein when I was 14 years old?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes sir. Yes, sir.
Didn't want the job either. Didn't want the job. So it is amazing. I'm like, I don't want this job. I'm like, and sometimes I would just, when I was, kind of just like young and just like, I don't want to be here. What am I doing here? And I was kind of blowing off steam or just blowing off, just getting lost. I would go in the back of the actual, I was in the management of all records of the entire corporation. So I saw all the history. I was playing with Benjamin Franklin's, his tool, his little what do they call it? His what do they call it, baby? I'm missing my words right now. Like the all of his not a stethoscope, all his experiment, because he was doing a lot of experiments.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize, but Benjamin Franklin did a lot of experiments, and he was a scientist also. So all of his flask and all the different things that he had, I had all of his stuff, and I would be back there like, what is this? What is this? And I remember all of them had dark colors like this.
Yes.
And, the dark colors were for the purpose of keeping that. So this is a potentizer. So see right in the middle? See right here?
Yep.
This is the timer, and it actually, you switch the knob based on the frequency, switches it over, and then now you get that. So next time you pick up something, you might want to look at it and see if it's been potentized, because you never know. You never know. And also, when you look at the history of pharmaceuticals, some of them actually are potentized, and they never mentioned to it.
Wow.
So
there are two pictures in the chat, Dr. P. I part of that, so people can take a look at it.
Okay. All right. So that's all I wanted to share with the family today. Just an interesting fact that
So would you see that on something that has been potentized?
Yeah, sometimes you will see it on there. Yeah, sometimes. Some people, especially if you're in homeopathy, if you see it in homeopathy, you may see that.
Good night, Eloise.
And remember
Good
what
night, Dr.
homeopathy.
Eloise.
Okay.
And that's potentizing is not a theory. It's a practice that
it's been going on.
It's been going on, but people just haven't been using it.
Because
it's not mainstream.
Right, because remember, it can't, of course, those are going to try to debunk it, but, it's been going on for so long. The science is factual. They got a machine here. The machine, when you pull it from this side and pull it to the other side and you measure, everything's on one side. So there's nothing but facts here. This is math. This is actual science. So when they go back to the inside, it's gone. The energy is gone from the herbs. It's almost like you steep the herb. You know how when you steeping herbs?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a form of potentizing also.
Okay.
Okay.
All
So
right.
that means
Very
when you're heating up the herb, right? All that energy is coming out of the herb is now in the water.
Okay.
Got it? Mm-hmm. Same thing. Same concept. And then now when you take that herb out, it's all out of there. Just like when y'all ask me about the red onion tea all the time, right? Y'all say, well, once I take the red onion tea and I boil it, and I put it in, and then once it comes to a boil in 20 minutes, do I eat the other part or I just, put it in the salad? What do I do with it? Well, you can throw it away because there's no energy in it. It's all gone, including the color. If you notice that the color actually leaves also. Yeah. So that's a vibration all of itself is the color, because the color is an anthocyanin, which is the antioxidant of the actual plant itself. That's the red or the purple. And then amazing that all of that is in the water. And if you can look at the tea, you'll even see it in there. Let's say, hey, it's a little purple going on there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So isn't that interesting? So it just shows you this is all about energy. We are bioelectrical beings. And with that being the case, we transfer energy. You ever been walking across the floor, Big B, with your slippers on the road?
Man, please. Get a big shot. Get lit up. I know that's right. That's right. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Static charge. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's get the last few people before we get out of here.
We've got 4 or 5 really right in a row. So let's get those done so that you're
all right. And I'm off. Am I off right now? Am I off? Can you see everybody?
Yeah, we see everybody.
Okay.
There's Summer, Quincy, Betty, Linda, and then Kamar. That's where we are. Summer, you there?
All right, real quick. So two questions. One that came up from the other young lady that asked about the Willard water. Mm-hmm. Why is one of the Willard? I have 2 questions though, but why is one of the Willard waters dark and one is clear?
Well, it's based on there may be a difference with the formula. Yeah, there are different variations, but I would say there, long as this was from the original company, Willard's Water, right? You got it from Willard Water, right? Well, Dr. John Willard, that's his name.
I don't know which one to purchase. I'm looking at it online, but one says Dr. Willard's water is dark, and then one says
I'm gonna give you my best suggestion. Okay, always buy from the websites especially when it's an inventor like that. Okay. You can go to places like Amazon and get cheaper deals, but remember that's people buying it and then they're reselling it. So I always say, you got to watch. Amazon's good for certain things, but not for everything. You can get good deals, but when it comes down to real stuff that you really need to get the real deal, you need to go directly to the sites and get it from their manufacturer, the official site. So when you go to the Google, when you Google it or whatever, make sure it says official, because sometimes there's some knockoff sites out there also.
I know that's the truth, man.
Yeah. So you got to watch it. And it may be off by like one letter or something. Mm-hmm. It'll be like, Willard will spell WILLARDD. So
that's so very true, my friend.
And then you're like, wait a minute, this is the same one, right? No, it's not. Somebody knew that somebody gonna mess up, and they're gonna go to my site, and then they catch all that extra traffic from those who mess up with the double D's.
Yeah. All right, Dr. Paul. My second question is, I had gotten a fever blister. So I used my tea tree oil and everything, and then the same fever blister came back 2 weeks later. Like, what the heck is going on?
Usually you're detoxing. Fever blisters we have a face chart with that. That's kidneys. When you look on the chart, right on, is it in the corners of your mouth?
One was on like the top of my lip, and then one was on the corner.
Yep. We got the face charts with that. There's a face chart that I have that I mentioned to the family. Usually right around the lip area, anywhere that's around your intestines or your kidneys. That's
so
usually
I'm not getting enough water.
Yep, that's usually where it is. It's dehydration, but also it's the signs of virus in the system. So you got to move into areas that deal with antiviral herbals. That's what we generally, just traditionally, not saying that's your situation, but that's to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent disease, just food for the soul, is the olive leaf would be good. Also the tea tree oil. Things like oregano oil. Okay. But also, like you said, get your water together, because also I always attribute it, because when we do the body breakdowns, that's also the same marking for pain in the lower back. So sometimes you may feel like in the lower mid to lower back area, you may have a little pain there. That's kidneys. That's always kidneys. Yeah.
Hey, lysine. What about taking lysine for?
Yeah, lysine is also good. Yep, lysine is good. Any types of lysine is also good for that. Of course, lysine is like a knife to a tire. Pulls, it stops the ability for viruses to reload. Another one would be thuja. Thuja would be another one. Thuja. Thuja. That's the evergreen. The evergreen that grows in the forest. That's what the deers eat to stay clear from things like viruses and things like that in their bodies. So, yeah. Thuja. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you, Summer. Appreciate you.
All right. You got it. Quincy and Vanessa.
Quincy and Vanessa.
I have not. There we go.
Dr. Paul, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Two things, Dr. Paul. I do my green drink twice a day. I get all my water in, 70 ounces. I don't use table salt, but my feet have been swelling up every day. Now, I do use the Himalayan sea salt.
Yeah, you might want to just pull off all salt altogether and let the body reset. Got it? So whenever you're having things like that, that's usually, lymphatic system is backing up. So you could be still taking the greens, but still, if you got to watch the water retention level, just reset. Just come off all salts, period. And then let the body reset itself. Usually the greens is not going to be a problem that causes swelling. Matter of fact, there's the herbs that are actually used for bringing water off the leg would be dandelion. That's traditionally used, dandelion root.
Guess what? I take 2 dandelion. I take 4 pills. I take 2 in the morning, 2 at night in my green drink.
Yeah. So the other question I would have for you then is, what else are you eating? See, whenever we got to realize that it's a happy balance that's going on, but it's usually something in our food choices that's throwing it off, and the body says, "I'm a perfect system, and I'm gonna show you imbalance." So you got to watch the grazing, watch the snacks, even the ones that say that they're kosher and they're non-GMO and all that. See, they're still dehydrated, and it just might not be bad. It's all clean, but it's not good for you. So that's why you got to watch certain things. Thick, creamy, things that pour slow, you got to stay away from those.
Exactly. I pretty much follow you to a T. That's what I'm thinking. Am I getting too much water? I don't know.
Well, it depends on with the balance. What else are you eating though? What else are you eating? You make sure you go down that top 10 list. Okay. See, it could be very much, how about nuts? Okay. It could also be, when it comes down to it, assimilation. If you're not assimilating your nutrients now, food can't do what it's supposed to do. that would be a problem because assimilation is a big factor that a lot of people have. You can't assimilate the food, so no oatmeals. Got it? No oatmeals. Watch out for the nuts, and if it is nuts, any nuts at all?
No.
Okay.
Not since I saw you about maybe 3 months ago, and I've been following you to a T.
Okay, so right, so it's something. What do you like a lot of?
Well, I don't have it anymore because it's not good for me.
What do you like? Everything that you're taking it every day. What do you like a lot of?
I do. I like hot sauce.
Okay, now that's
hot sauce.
No. I don't use it anymore. I used to use it because I love it, but no, I don't have it.
Okay, what do you do every day though? Think about it. You may have to think about it a little bit.
Okay.
Because sometimes when I sit down with folks, they'll say, "Oh my God, it didn't hit me. I didn't even realize it." It's something that you might not be aware of.
Right.
See, it's the body. See, the body's a perfect system. That's why we can always count on it that the body is something is out of balance. That's where the dis-ease comes from. It's when the body's in a state of balance, it's in an ease. But when it's out of balance, dis-ease is what's happening. So it reads a perfect system created by a genius, blueprinted in your DNA.
Yes,
so when something's out of balance, it's like, something I don't like, something you're doing to me, I don't like it. It's something that's there. And usually when I really go down and we probe it, we probably don't have enough time now, but I was kind of just like, face level probing. It's something that you got to look back at all your foods, look at everything.
Okay.
And, but usually it kind of rolls around something that you do every day or at a certain time. And it also could be lack of exercise too. Are you exercising?
Every day, 30 minutes on my treadmill and my yoga.
Okay, so that could be, it could be, something else going on based on food choices. That's what it sounds like. But just keep it up and give me a call and we'll kind of work it out for you, okay?
Well, I'm going to come see you in about 2 weeks anyway, so we'll talk more then.
Oh, yeah, well, you're perfect on time. You're perfect, okay?
Okay, my last question. What's a good nutritional snack to have on the go?
Well, that's what I'm saying. For you, we got to check you out first.
That's not me. It's for my girlfriend, actually. She wanted me to ask you.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, a nutritional snack is the best nutritional snack for her is the one for her. So that's why you got to watch out for, there's a lot of good protein bars that are out there. If I were to tell you just some to look out for, watch out for the ones with things like maltodextrin in it. Got it? Okay. Watch out for maltodextrin. Watch out for genetic modifications, bioengineered ingredients, things like that.
Amen.
Things that are just, out of alignment. It's going to be tough. Canola oil. These are the things that are not directly, but indirectly people are getting. And that can cause swelling in the legs too. That canola oil is not real. It's not real. So some people are catching it not directly, but indirectly. Did you know that all nuts, when they're roasted nuts, those are roasted in canola oil?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
What do you think about dates? What about dates?
Dates? Dates are good, but you got to make sure you know where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Make sure they're non-GMO when you get them. Yeah.
Okie dokie. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So just think about it. Write some things down before we see you. Okay.
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 Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye bye, guys. Okay. Bye bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Betty, you're next. You there?
Hi. Can you speak about leaky gut? And would it be safe to say that just about any illness is associated with it?
A leaky gut.
Yeah. Leaky gut comes from, again, candida. Levels of candida goes back to sugar. If that was one thing that comes up immediately when I think of leaky gut, it's sugar. Too much sugar causes the spread of candida in the system. And then you're going to get it in the mouth, get it into under the armpits, all over the body, in the vaginal areas. It can go everywhere. So a lot of that, of course, leaves a hole. When that leaves that hole in the gut, little stuff, of course, waste comes out, and then now it gets into the other parts of the body. So you got to do a cleanse. Okay, I would do a cleanse. Colon cleanse followed by a parasite cleanse. That's what we start with. Yeah. So you got to take yourself to, traditionally that's what's used, and then we move forward from there. But stay away from the sugar. It's usually always the sugar. Yep. The sugar is always the biggest problem.
Okay.
Yeah. So watch your sugar. How's your sugar been, by the way?
Oh, it's just wonderful.
Oh, I heard that.
Wonderfully good or wonderfully bad?
Wonderfully good. Wonderfully good. There's no white sugar. There may be cane sugar, but then I try to focus on.
I would just pull off all sugar until you reset. See, sometimes if you have, we know that candida, that's what feeds it. Is sugar. Period. I would leave all sugar alone for a while and see what happens. Things like, what gets the body and the gut moving and for back into balance a lot of is what I mentioned on my last show over the weekend. I talked about the aloe vera gel. Okay. And specifically the Ace Mana. Got it? Anybody remember that? Anybody hear the show last week? The Ace Mana? The Ace Mana is the part of the plant, of the aloe vera plant, that is like the green part. You know how you open the plant up, right? And you got the gel, but underneath there is a little green part. Well, that green part is like a pulp. And that is actually called Ace Mana. Got it? And Ace Mana actually acts as what they call a immune director. It directs the body to create more white blood and red blood cells to defend you and to clean you up, wherever it's going. So it's almost like an accelerant. It's a catalyst. Isn't that amazing? I mean, it's just amazing when you look at this body and what God has put this thing to. It's amazing. So if you always want to get if you get aloe vera gel, make sure it says the inner fillet. The inner fillet. Okay, the inner fillet. So that would be a good one also for traditionally used for things like candida or any issues of leaky gut. And then you take it on an empty stomach. That's the way you usually start it off. Usually take it before every meal, usually like 2 tablespoons before 30 minutes before every meal. And that resets the gut. So you're trying to reset everything. You got to give the body time to reset. Some of us are moving too quickly, eating too often. And we got to let the time to pause. That's what fasting is all about. It's pausing. Pause. Some people, when they first start to hear the stomach growl, ready to go to the refrigerator. But that's your body now breaking down fat. When your stomach's growling, you're like, what's wrong with your stomach? I need to go get something to eat. No, that actually means that your body's breaking down fat. You're probably kicking off ketones now. That's what's happening.
Okay.
So
excellent.
Yeah, so that's the way your body is actually losing. You're losing weight right then.
Wow. Okay.
You're starting to burn fat for energy. You don't want to burn fat for energy all the time, but that's
and we go grab some bread, huh?
It is true.
Yeah,
we got to kill it. Okay.
All right.
Babe.
So get that inner fillet. It's inner fillet. And one more last thing. It's inner fillet, or sometimes it says with pulp. It may say with pulp. Keep that in mind. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, right. Dr. P, I have a question before we go to Linda. Is it good to eat a banana and an apple every morning, Monday through Friday in the morning?
That's what I said. You got to watch it. It depends on if it's good for you. Some people it's too heavy. See, it's too heavy. It's too heavy for some people in the morning. And I know it's fun, y'all. To make the smoothies. It's fun. It's fun. It feel like you're, I'm doing something. This is part of my health is to do something. We call that ritual and ceremony. You're doing the ritual and ceremony every day, but some of that stuff is too thick. It's too thick and it's too heavy, especially if you're not assimilating. If you need to lose weight, you need to get the weight off you. You got to stop. I would lay off juicing for a little bit because it's too thick. Things like the bananas too thick, and that stuff blocks your villi. When you got it, stops the villi from assimilating. Now you can't assimilate. And usually when I look at the RM3A, we can see it all day long, not assimilating, backing up. And if you can't get it in, most of the time you can't get it out either. Right, and it sits like a cesspool in the body. So you got to be careful. Right. Okay.
Okay, Dr. B. All right, Linda B, and then Kamara. Linda?
Hi there. Some of the things you've already went over, but I just wanted to bring it to attention because I haven't heard much about it. People that have allergies, sinus infections, and what have you. I got the pneumonia shot, and I thought it was my sinuses and allergies, and I found out that I have pneumonia, and I have to take all this medication again, and my blood pressure has increased. I've been going for blood pressure since Saturday, 200 over 100. Sometimes it drops down to 177 to 94. But the thing of it is I'm full of mucus now. And so I just wanted to bring it to attention. Some people think they just have allergies and sinus issues, but it can develop into pneumonia. I don't know if anybody has gone through this before.
Well,
so I just wanted to
sure. Let me expand on this just a little bit. I myself had pneumonia, double pneumonia, so I can speak on it for 2 levels. And remember, pneumonia is a parasite. It's like a parasite in the system. It could be bacterial, it could be viral, but also it could be parasitic. And what's happening is when you start to get that little tickle in the throat, it starts the mucus is rising. That means you're in a state of too much acid. So your key is to alkalize. You got to alkalize. Things like we mentioned earlier tonight, traditionally what's used is things like chlorophyll. Got it? Chlorophyll, liquid chlorophyll. Also, when you're tackling something like that, you got to hit it on all 3 levels, bacterial, viral, and parasitic. So if you have
a parasite, bacterial.
So they did determine it was bacterial. So that means it's something that you were exposed to. So that means you go to I'm sure they gave you natural, and they gave you pharmaceutical antibiotics, right?
Yeah, they gave me a bunch of stuff. Yes.
Yeah. So I would say that I don't have
causing the blood pressure.
Because it's right. Because remember, it's your water. Remember, you got to drink water.
Right, okay? And I've been doing that.
Yeah, you gotta stay top. You gotta stay on that water, and you got the right water, right? You got the right water.
Of course.
Okay, good. So things like oregano oil, okay, and what you do. Here's the thing: syrups work excellent. Also, elderberry syrup. Okay, elderberry. The one that I immediately directly go to is the Dr. Tierra's wild cherry bark syrup. Okay, that's the one I would highly recommend. Okay, because
Dr. Terry.
Yep, the Dr. Tierra.
Oh, Tierra.
TIERRA. Cherry bark syrup. It used to be old Indian wild cherry bark syrup. Got it? That along with the golden seal root. Okay, those are the herbs that are traditionally used. Not saying it's for your situation, but these are the ones that are traditionally used along with mullein, all those lungs. And then here's the thing. When you're drinking the water and you take those herbs, you go lay down. Got it? You gotta lay down. You can't move around, can't go shopping, can't watch TV. You need to go to sleep. Got it? See, the body regenerates when you're asleep. See, only when the body gets into that deep sleep can your body go into that, what we call REM sleep. Okay, the REM sleep is very critical when it's time for healing because the body says, well, I can get you right, Lynn, but I need to get you in that uninterrupted sleep factor before I do my healing. But if you keep getting up 3 and 4 times, you're breaking my cycle.
And that's what happens when I drink the water. I'm up 3 and 4 times and I'm choking.
So this is what you got to be on point with. That's very, very much my point. You have to start to now focus on your time frames. 4 a.m. in the morning till 7 p.m. is your water. Got it? That's your water. Every time you drink water, you're going to eliminate every 2 to 3 hours. But right now, because you're fighting something, it's probably going to go right through you. As soon as you drink it, it's going to go right through you. It's going to feel like that. because the body said there's an emergency. Get this stuff out as soon as possible. So it's going to happen like that. So look at it like every time you drink water, within that hour's time frame, you're probably going to eliminate it. Then you can go to sleep. Got it? After you eliminate. And then try to get your good sleep in there for a good time. And then when you wake up, try to do intervals of, 3 or 4 hours if you can.
Yeah, I have the CPAP machine too. And so I use that. And
yeah.
So that's another thing there too.
Yeah.
But the blood pressure has been bothering me for the last 4 or 5 days.
Yeah. So it just, and then that goes back to what you're eating also and what you're not eating. Okay. Because when you're sick like this, your body's going to now start to move. It's going to do other things. So without getting too technical, I would say just give me a call and we'll talk it out over a phone consult. Okay. And I can maybe walk you through it a little bit because it's a balance right now. You have to have a happy balance.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Okay, Dr.
Okay, Linda. All right. Hope you feel better.
Thank you.
Kamara, and then one last one, Nadine. Kamara?
Okay. Greetings, everybody. Peace and blessings. So I'm hoping this time next week I'll have a praise report. I'm going to my cardiologist in the morning.
Okay.
And I can't wait to see the results of a test that I was put through. So number 2, Dr. Paul, the machine, I wanted to order that, but I wanted to order the model that you carry, the tester. Is it the 2F black?
Yes. That's it.
So that's what it is. And that one costs $80.
Yep.
It's about 84 or something like that. Yeah.
Now, did you get that directly through a company or through Amazon?
I think I got mine on a company. I didn't go on the Amazon on this one. Yeah. Mine came. Because they've changed a lot. Matter of fact, the green test is the name on the front, but then there's another name for another company that's the same company, but they just basically just slapped their name on it. That's all.
Yep.
It's the same test. It's the same one. If it looks like this, it's the same one.
Okay,
Got
so
it. It's green test, and there was another name. I think it was called Greenvo, or something like that. Something like that. So no matter what, as long as it does the right thing, it's a probe and it does the, testing. They're all good. They're all good.
Okay, all right. Because I know some things are, fraudulent. So I wanted to get what you got.
Yeah, like I said, just don't get it on. I always say go to the website when it's something this important. Don't get it resaled on Amazon because there's too many people making money now on that way, that reselling thing. So I would just go directly to the website. Yeah, try to purchase it there.
May I add something to that?
What's the website?
I had gone directly to the website, and it took so long. It took a month to get here, and I found out why because it was coming from China. So just be aware of that.
See, I didn't have it. Yeah, mine didn't. Yeah. You got to make sure you do a little research on there because mine didn't come from China.
Really?
Yeah, mine did. I called the credit card company because and I put in a dispute. And then later I got this box a couple of weeks later and I said, what is this?
It was the green test. It was the egreentest.com website.
Yeah, it was the green test website.com because I actually got 2 of them. I got the one you got and I got the one that does other stuff as well.
Yeah, you got to watch it now. There are other ones out there that say green test though. You got to watch it. Yeah, you got to watch it. You remember I was telling you about that 1 digit off or somebody will put something in front of it that's how they're doing it. So be careful. Just make sure it goes directly to that website. It's green test when you see the green test in the top. And let me share it with the family so that you can see.
I appreciate it because I know there are knockoffs out there.
Yeah, it's a lot of people, that are, utilizing. There's a lot of people that are utilizing, making a living out here now, online. And all they know is that if there's a hot product, they just going to create something to draw them to the website. So they're going to put green test in the actual. So they'll get a domain name specifically for that. So they'll be like green test A or green test, something just a little bit off, like it'll be G test or something like that.
Right.
And then people will go to it thinking that it's the green test when they're just reselling it.
Right.
Yeah. So can y'all see it? Can y'all see this? So this is the one right here. When you see that G up there, green test, This is the one that I went to. So, all right.
Yeah.
So
Thank
hopefully
you.
that help you out. Okay.
And the last question is, what's good to rub in your skin where you have varicose veins?
Well, remember, varicose veins is waste trapped in the lymphatic system. That sometimes it happens from like an injury, like could have been a sprained ankle, or sometimes it was an injury, and it just gets backed up. So lymphatic massages are what I recommend. Usually, yeah, lymphatic massages tend to move that waste out of the leg. But of course, things like the dandelion root, the juniper berries, the celery. All of those things move it. Bok choy, all of those things are arugula. Those are things that kind of move the system and move that lymphatic system. Chaparral, chaparral, cleavers. These are just the herbs that just off the top of the head that move the lymphatic system. And it's kind of getting, or you can grab the lymphatic formula, the Mary Ruth formula already put together in tonic form, or the lymphotonic. Okay, either one of those, make sure they're non-alcohol. Got it? Non-alcohol. Okay.
Right. Two other things can cause it too. If you worked in the industry where you were on your feet too long, and also if you drastically lost, if you used to be overweight and you've lost weight, you can find them then too.
Yeah, and lack of activity also in the legs. You got to get really a lot of stretching in that leg area. Along with the massage, lymphatic masseuse, you want to definitely get the legs moving, a lot of walking on the treadmill, just getting out in air, oxygen, deep breathing, all of those things will move it. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Cameron. All right, Nadine, and we're at 9:03. Nadine, you there? I see you moving around. Just kind of click it and make sure we get you. Nadine.
Nadine looked like she in the store.
All right, Nadine.
You in the store, Nadine?
That's right. There you go. Hit it.
What you shopping for,
There
Nadine?
you go.
I'm here. I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
What's up, Nadine?
My question is, what causes the difference in color between white and brown chicken eggs?
What's the difference?
Yeah,
well,
what causes?
What causes it? That's a natural occurrence. That's natural. Yeah. And that's based on, that's a form of melanin. That's the form of melanin. Yep. So what's happening is has to do with the, you ever heard people say, well, what comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Or the egg. Yep.
Right.
What comes first? Everybody know? Anybody in it? Anybody
I've heard of it.
What comes first? Anybody?
Chicken.
All right. Who says the chicken? Who says
chickens to bring forth more eggs?
But the egg bring forth a chicken. So that's why.
All right, we got a debate going on.
You got a rebate.
That's the question.
Do chickens have to have sex? Do chickens have to have sex to have an egg?
Well, you'd have to ask the farmer one now, because what's happening right now, I don't know what these chickens are right now, because I don't know if they real, they bionic, I don't know what.
That's right, buddy.
It's a shame what they're doing to the poor animal.
So, Dr. Paul, I guess
without an egg.
I guess my question was, does it have anything to do with like the fact that the chicken is actually out of the cage and is utilizing the earth?
Well, that could be. Yeah, that could be something also, but it's a lot to deal with the actual DNA of the actual chicken that they're coming from. I'm sure there's a lot of things. Free range is just a term that's used to suffice the people that are purchasing, that they're not mean, that they're not giving them antibiotics and all those things. And that this cage free just means that, the door is open, Big B. I can go outside if I want to.
Well,
I can roam out if I want to, but if I'm not cooped up, I'm not cooped up, and that's the whole point. That's the whole thing with free range, but nowadays you got other things that are involved right now.
Man.
Of course, you got the bird flu is really high right now. So, a lot of that has a lot to do with the shell. See, the shell itself is actually part of, it's a harder form of skin. That's what it is. It's like it's a calcite. So it's actually a form of like the outer shell. So it actually, you're both right. It all happens at the same time. You know, they say, well, what's first, the chicken or the egg? It all happens at the same time because it's a form of the outer skin that just turns hard. That's all. So it's a calcium. It's a form of a calcite that happens and protects it. But now here's the miracle of God. You know, the whole concept behind why people will, you know, some people really get into heavy egg eating is that you got to think about it. That chick is in that egg for a certain amount of time and had no outside resources to feed it.
That's right, buddy.
So what does that mean? That inside of that egg, that chick had
nutrients
all the nutrients
Amen.
needed with no outside source at all.
Yep.
So that's the concept of why people say they eat, like, you know, people say that the eggs cause cholesterol, but, you know, of course, if you're into that debate about, you know, vegans, vegetarians, eating embryos, all that stuff, I get it. But what they're saying is that they're eating the egg because everything is inside of it and it had no outside occurrence to become the actual life itself, the actual chick itself.
And Dad knew what he was doing from the beginning. That's all.
Yeah. Had no outside feeding.
No nothing. No nothing.
So that means everything was in there. Yep.
That's
so
right.
Not only the yolk. Are you saying the yellow yolk? The yolk is the embryo.
Well, everything that's happening in there, the yolk and the actual membrane itself, is all DNA coded. Let me just tell you a real quick story and we'll go, okay? They wanted to find out if you could literally map, like if you know when you open the egg and you open it out, right? And you'll see what? You got the yolk and then you got the, you know, the whites, which is like a membrane, right? So they wanted to find out, was this structurally put in some kind of specific order to create the chick? And we already know, yes, it has to be. That's why it's so sticky. It's like a yolk. It's keeping it together, right? That's DNA matter for that chick. And they knew this because they tested it. You know what they did? They took the egg and they mixed it up. So they took one part when the egg was laid out. They took one section and brought it all the way over to this side, brought one section over here, brought it over to the other side, brought another picture over to the other side, and then they matured it, and the chicken came out backwards. That's exactly what happened.
What?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. It was an experiment that they were trying to prove, you know, is this efficient data? It's DNA matter.
Yes.
Yep. I remember Dr. Africa gave us a whole lesson on that egg, you know, and how the egg is, when you lay it out, it's DNA matter. That's DNA. You know, so that whites of that egg actually tells the yolk when it mixes how to put the chick together. Ooh, you can't see God, you ain't looking. You ain't looking.
Nature is amazing.
Ooh, God is amazing.
Yeah. You know, we also what's interesting, Dr. Paul, I remember when I was working in pathology, when you take a look at one cell, each cell of your body has everything it needs to make a different human being. A whole new human being.
Yeah. That's
that
always
tell you something,
that's
folks.
DNA code. That's DNA code.
It's the encode right there.
It's the coding right there. And
one cell has everything it needs to produce another human being.
And one cell is listening and communicating with every cell of the 150 trillion cells at the same time. They call it quantum. That's quantum mechanics. You ever heard the expression quantum?
Yeah, buddy.
Yes. You know what quantum means? Does anybody know what quantum means? You've heard that expression, quantum. Like
down to the cellular level.
It's quantum means that what affects one affects everything at the same time.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
So that means that explains the person that says, you ever see somebody, they said they had a food or something, as soon as they touched their taste buds, they go, "Ooh, that made me sick." And you say, well, how did that make you sick? And it just touched the taste buds.
And your head.
Because because when your taste buds touched that object, it recognized that it was not good for the body.
Yes.
And it sent the information to every part of your body. Boom, at the same time.
That fast.
That's quantum. Fast. That's quantum mechanics right there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
Okay.
Yep.
One last question, Dr. Peter.
All right.
What are your thoughts regarding EB-N6 containing L-methylfolate purchased from EBM Medical. Is it a medical food for peripheral neuropathy?
I have no idea what that is. And I would say definitely take a, snapshot of it, send it over. I could take a look at it.
Okay.
But that's a brand. That's something that you would get into seeing what's inside of it and what is it used for.
Okay.
Typically, we say that we go towards the herbs. It sounds pharmaceutical. Or if it's not, even if it's a nutraceutical, it's been either separated, isolated, or divided from something that was originally natural to begin with. So we say, why do that? Go back to where it came from.
I know that's right.
So I would just have to look at that. That would be a whole breakdown. Yeah.
All right, my friend. Well, look, my friend. That's it for that. That's everybody. But
all right, Big B. Tell them how they could be a part of the family tree. This is a good one. This is a scientific one tonight.
Good class,
y'all learned what a potentizer is. Oh boy, we got some potentizers now.
What you talking about?
I might have to give y'all all a potentizer hat.
All right.
Boy. Okay, guys. Here we go again.
All right, Big B. Tell them how they can be a part of the family tree and support you in everything that we're doing here, buddy.
I got that. Again, of course, in order to get a copy of this chat, you got to do what? You got to send me an email. Send an email to mechavideo@gmail.com. Again, mechavideo@gmail.com. To support the family tree, use my Cash App. That's $BILMORGAN. $BILMORGAN. If you use your bank net Zelle, that ID is mechavideo@comcast.net. Again, mechavideo@comcast.net. Of course, you can use a P.O. Box. What? That's P.O. Box 191, Mullica Hill, New Jersey, 08062. Again, Bill Morgan, P.O. Box 191, Mullica Hill, New Jersey, 08062. Bring your family.
All right, family. Put your hands together. Did you learn anything tonight, y'all?
Yeah, buddy.
If you learned something tonight, put your hands together, family.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey.
Yep.
We always say we don't charge you with nothing but the truth, so go and share the information. That's all we say. Share it and then make it a different part, if you're educational, write it down. Hopefully y'all wrote it down, right? Y'all wrote everything down.
Yeah, buddy.
All right.
Just for class.
I got you. All right. I want to let's give our coach with the most, Big B, Bill L. Morgan a hand. And I'll say the questions y'all had tonight were spot on. These are the things that people don't talk about, right? So I want y'all to everybody just next week bring somebody.
Yeah, buddy.
Bring somebody.
That's right.
Invite some folks. When I send out that email to everybody, invite somebody. Send it to your email list.
Yes.
And that's why we can make it a better place for everybody because it's all about the
Blade trees.
Tree.
Yes, sir. By the way, Dr. Paul, you got a note on Facebook there from your cousins Tim and Stevie.
Oh, I got a note from Tim and Stevie is on there. What's up, cuz?
From North Carolina.
Oh, from North Carolina. Hey, y'all, I may be coming down to North Carolina soon, so we're going to keep that one in prayer, all right? I'll see you.
All right, buddy. You got it, man.
I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for your class and everything. If we couldn't get it, make sure you get it over to Big B, and we'll try to make sure we answer your questions.
Right.
All right?
That's right,
so
buddy.
God bless y'all. May God keep y'all. And remember, if you're breathing,
you got a
shot. All right.
Thank you so much. God bless everybody.
God bless y'all.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, tap it out. Come on.
Yep.
Come on, tap it out. Hey, Haraya, what's up, Haraya?
Haraya, in there too, Dr. P tonight.
Tap it on down. Come on. I see you, Paulette. All right, Rosetta, what's going on? Come on.
Thank you for getting that website back up and getting my green drink to me.
Oh yeah, I said I better get this up or I ain't gonna be after me.
Yes,
That's it. Yep. Website's back up. Everybody know you can go to the website shop.drpaulherb.com. All right? Get your green drink, get your colon cleanse, get your parasite, all that good. All right, shaking it out, right? On the inside,
Yep.
All right, I want y'all to shake it out like this. Shake it out. All right, we got a doggy in the house. Wow, we got the doggy calling. He like he want to join the family tree.
On Facebook. Right, Dr. P.
Put your hands together like this.
Check on the information, sure.
Invert them, put them over your head.
All right.
And breathe. And breathe. Good, good. Bring them down and stretch. Blow it out. Good. Bring them down and stretch.
Right. Yep.
What's your doggy's name? And stretch. What's his name? Stretch. Yeah, you on mute. Stretch. He's like, I don't like you on TV.
I know. Hey, read
all right, I want everybody to hold that position and move to your left. To your left. To your left. Yeah, your left. Let's see. Make sure it's your left. All right. Good, good. Hold, hold, and come on up. Come on up. And on the left side, come to the right side. Come on, come on.
Right.
Good, good. All right. All right, shout out to everybody on the Facebook side.
Yeah.
Good to hear from y'all.
Yep.
And bring it on down. Bring it on down. Bring it on
you
down.
got questions? Call Dr.
Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good, good. Breathe in. And breathe out. Good, good. All right, shake it out. Shake them shoulders. Right, Marcy? Shake them shoulders. That's right. You got to get loose, Marcy. You about to hit on the plane now. You about to take the fly. You about to go international. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
buddy.
Clap. Come on. Get a little energy. We got to get an energy back. Yeah. You don't know about this. You join us for the first time. This is called an energy bath. So you take your hands, generate that energy and that heat in that hand. Little qigong on the side. Yeah. Clap and rub. Clap and rub. Clap. Feel it heating up. Clap and rub. That's your energy. That's not anybody's energy. That's your energy. Clap and rub. Clap and rub. And then now just rub it on down. Don't touch yourself. Bring it on down. Ooh. You feel that? You gotta feel that, man. You gotta feel that, Big B. You feel that, man?
Yeah, feel it, boy.
You gotta feel it. You can move that over your shoulder where there's a little ache or pain. Come on, you're using your own energy. This is like your little potentizer. How about that? Yeah, you know everybody's hands.
We have everything we need.
Yeah, we got everything. Your hands are healing. Yes, with good intentions, right?
Yeah.
Clap. Clap. One more time. Clap. Clap. And hold. Move that top one. Keep the bottom one still. Got it. Got it. Feel that? You feel that energy? All right, with great intentions. Bless yourself. Be blessed. God bless y'all. May God keep y'all. And thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for everything. Thank you, Big Man. Have a beautiful night.
Come on, come on, come on. All right, y'all.
All right.
All right, Big B. We'll see you on the weekend, buddy.
You got it, buddy.
Y'all be good. Have a wonderful rest of the evening. Y'all be safe, all right?
Peace and love.
All right, all right.
And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.
Oh, yeah. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
All right, all right. That's right.
That's a mother.
All right, all right.
All right.
All right, all right.
All right. All right. Yep.
10, 9,
Yep.
8,
Yep.
7, 6,
Yep.
5,
Okay.
4,
Yep.
3, 2,
All right.
and 1.
Good night, everybody.
All right. All right.
Go, Marcy. Go, Marcy. Go, Marcy. Go, Marcy. Go, Marcy.
Have a time, man.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Go,
You got it,
Marcy.
Yep. All right.
All right. Thanks for hanging in,
You got it,
y'all.
buddy.
We'll see y'all.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Love y'all. Take care.
Love you, Jack.